Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about homeschooling in the state of West Virginia. And we're going to begin at the HSLDA website, which you can go to their website and you can join HSLDA if you have any legal questions or legal concerns. I'm not an attorney and I can't help with that, but I can read what their website says. And you can check if there's any updates. And you can also check at the State Board of Education or Department of Education to see what they say as well. And I would suggest that you print that out, put the date that you printed it out, and put it in your portfolio or your binder if you're keeping one. Right here it says the first option enables you to homeschool by seeking approval from the local school board. The second option enables you to homeschool by sending a notification to the school board of superintendent. And it says if you choose to seek approval from your local school board, you will be required to teach the subjects approved by the school board for 180 days per year. Instruction must be in place, approved by the board, and for the time equal to the school term of the county. If requested, you must furnish attendance, instruction, and progress information. The school board may deny approval in writing for good and reasonable justification. The board also determines the method of assessment you must use in your homeschool. Although HSLDA does not generally recommend this approach, it may be appropriate for some family members. And right there I'm going to stop and talk about a portfolio or a binder and a list of things you might want to keep in there. At the beginning of the year, you might want to give them a placement test that you find on the internet, or a couple of them, to see what they've absorbed and what level they're on, so that you can come up with a plan of what you're going to teach them for a year. Your state homeschool laws, copies of any forms that you file, a couple of calendars for attendance records. When you brainstorm your favorite resources, you might want to keep a list of those. And then the actual resources you're going to use, a list of those. A list of any field trips you plan on take. Print out of contents from websites like IExcel and workbooks to show the curriculum that you're going to use and the list of activities they're going to be doing within each subject. Sample student work, and you might want to have two portfolio binders, one for your student and one for you, because your student might want to showcase their best work, whereas you're going to probably want to show progressive work and a variety of skills. And progressive work would be like you give them a spelling test at the beginning of the week, and then you give them a spelling test at the end of the week, and they've done so much better. Or you give them a test on their multiplication tables before they've learned them, and then later on, when they've got them down better, here and there, you give them a quiz till they get them down. You give them, they do an outline of an essay, and later they do an actual essay. And you might want to show a variety of skills. There's different types of portfolios, and it's up to you which kind you want to keep. A proof of any field trips taken, maybe a flyer, a leaflet, a map with the date written on it. You can have them write a paper, draw a picture about the field trip. If you do video or audio photos, a weekly schedule. You might want to create a weekly schedule and put that in your binder or your portfolio. And a daily log of activities, such as day 1 or day 2, day 3, and then you put the date and then the time, the name of the subject, the name of the website or the book that they're working in, along with the activity they're doing for each subject. And the last subject of the day, you would put both the start time and the end time so that you know what time school ended that day. So you might want to have a daily log of activities, and that's something that you'll absolutely love having. When you look 6-7 years from now, when you look back on what they did for the year, you'll really like having that. You can carry a notebook around and write that down, and then every now and then you could type it up in like even a WordPad document, email it to yourself in case your computer crashes, and then you have it in your email and you can print out the updated one and put it in your portfolio or your binder. If you give them, if they do self-evaluations and they tell you what they're struggling with, what they're excelling at, if they feel like they need to work more on any certain subjects, and If you give them assessments every 6 to 8 weeks and they go over that with you or help you to do that for each subject, and they do one at the end of the year for each subject, make sure you put a positive spin on anything like that. Oh, they're behind in their reading, but hey, they have a positive attitude and they're working hard. So at the end of the year, you put, oh, they went up 5 reading levels in 1 year, and you think it was because of their positive attitude and hard work. That way you have a positive spin on everything, and they can look back at the work that they did and take pride on it. When you do this standardized test, and that's what a lot of places call assessments, or the standardized test that you give them yearly, you might want to put that in there. If they do volunteer work, you might want to create certificates or have people fill out some kind of form showing that they did the volunteer work there. And you might want to put that in your portfolio or binder, especially if they're going to college or joining the military. If they take classes outside of the home, such as yoga, swimming, piano, horseback riding lessons, martial arts, anything like that, you might want to get records of that and put that in your portfolio or your binder. Your contacts with your emails, addresses, and phone numbers for homeschool support groups or the school that you're contacting about your homeschool. You want to keep those in there probably. If you decide to go on career study type field trips, you might want to create a list of questions about the education, their daily activities, and the skills they needed, and put that in your portfolio or binder so the students can ask them those questions. Maybe you're going to get to tour a hospital and somebody's going to take you around so you can talk to different employees there to find out the education they needed and the skills, or a hotel, or you could go to the Chamber of Commerce for ideas, but those might help your student when they can write a paper on it. Maybe they could do audio or video footage and then write a paper on it. But that might help them choose a career, understand their education. It might help them with interviews later and their communication skills. So those are some of the things you might want to put in your portfolio or your binder to help you with it. Such an excellent keepsake to have. Homeschooling by submitting a notice of intent. Parents may also choose to homeschool by submitting a notice that meets certain requirements to the school board or superintendent. HSLDA recommends this approach because it does not require obtaining permission to homeschool as long as the notification complies with the law. A child is excused from compulsory attendance. But to homeschool under this option, you must ensure the person that's providing the home instruction must have a high school diploma or equivalent, or post-second degree or certificate from a regionally accredited institution. You have to file a notice of intent with your school board or superintendent with your child's name, address, and age. You must assure your child will be instructed in reading, language, math, science, and social studies, and assessed annually, which usually means a standardized test taken. You must also provide evidence that the person providing home instruction possesses the required qualification. And you can read more of that on their website. I don't want to read it all, but you can see that. And it talks about the yearly assessment and maintaining copies for 3 years. And it talks about what they mean by assessing your child and mentions the standardized achievement tests. The public school testing program. A written narrative that indicates a certified teacher has reviewed a portfolio of your child's work and determined that the child's academic progress for the year is in accordance with the child's abilities. And it talks more about that. And it talks about what happens if your child does not demonstrate acceptable progress, which if you're schooling if you're schooling the number of hours you're supposed to, homeschoolers usually excel at those assessment tests. Of course, some people don't test well, and this is a different size type of assessment test. This is to help you, the ones right here on this website, to help you create a plan of what you're going to teach them for the year. And they have a variety of these that you can find. And these, I think, are for you to know where they're at in the workbooks if you're going to buy their curriculum or their workbooks. But if you look at one of those, you can see how you could give them one of these tests and you could see if they're making simple mistakes and go over it, or if they need to review something, or if they're at that you're on the level that they're on, so that you can come up with a plan of what you're going to teach them for the year, and that might help you. And I like this website because when you're trying to brainstorm and come up with your list of what you need to homeschool them and your favorite resources on the internet, or be it books or things like that, this will help you so you can see the list and how they did this list, so that you could come up with a list of what you need. And you can create your own headings, and you could put books or in general homeschool supplies. You can put the subjects like English, math, or you can put complete curriculum packages or whatever headings you want, but you can create a list of your favorite resources. And then next year you can look back at the favorite resources in case you're going to use different resources, and then you can create a list of the actual resources that you're going to use. Or you can just highlight the ones you're going to use. It's up to you. So you can put that in your portfolio or your binder. And this is a homeschool attendance record. You can see where I got it. You can get these online for free. Sometimes you can find calendars if you Google search for calendars and look for free calendars under images. But you might want to print a couple of these and put them in your portfolio or your binder, and one for the days that you think you're going to have school, field trips, and holidays. And then even public schools have things come up like snow days, so then you can use another one for the days that you actually have school and the days you actually go on the field trips and have holidays. And you can have that in your portfolio or binder. This is IExcel. It's not free. I think it's like $20 a month. But you can see how you can print up your curriculum so that you can put it in your portfolio or your binder. So you can print up the math curriculum if you're going to be using this website, or you can write it down in a notebook paper and put it in there if you want to. And if you're doing a daily log of their activities with like day 1, day 2, day 3, and then you're putting like day 1, August 5th, 8 o'clock, math, IExcel, the activity would be, you can see, would be even or odd, or skip counting, or number sequences, or Roman numerals, or comparing numbers. So that would help you to understand what the activity is within the subject. And this is khanacademy.org, and it says it is free for everyone, everywhere. And it goes from pre-K all the way up to college, and it has life skills. And it's an excellent resource. This is all-in-one homeschool, and right now it's still free. They do ask you to donate. You can donate if you want to. You don't have to. You can click cancel and still use it for free. And they have Bible study, so if you want to start the day with Bible study, you can do that, but it's not in their daily activities. I believe you have to click on it separately. And their daily activities will take you to different, they'll be doing math on one website, maybe, and reading on another one, and history at another one. So it's a fun website. And maybe you don't want to use the complete curriculum from all the websites. Maybe the same website. Maybe you want to do math and IExcel and life skills and Khan Academy and reading in all-in-one homeschool. That's up to you. And this is Schoolhouse Rock, and it's just to point it out to you. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. It teaches grammar, science, economics, history, math, and civics. It's not a complete curriculum, but it's fun to add it to your day if you want to. And you can find Schoolhouse Rock in YouTube playlist videos for free, where your student can take a break, or you can take a break to go make lunch, and they can listen to these songs and they memorize these songs, and it helps them to learn. You can see the subject right here. It helps them to learn math and their multiplication tables by heart. And they might remember these songs all the way into their adulthood. This is Grammar Rock. So you teach this to them when they're young, and these are things they need to know, in elementary school, in middle school, in high school, and even college, so they know the parts of speech. And often they remember this forever. They remember all these songs. And this is America Rock, where it teaches them about the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution and branches of the government. So if they're walking down the road and they're, remember that jaywalking, and Jay Leno's asking people these questions and they don't know the answers. Well, maybe they memorize these songs so they'll know some of these answers. They won't be caught off guard. But it also teaches Science Rock. And you can see that. And it teaches Money Rock about personal budget. And here's some more science where it talks about Earth Rock. So that it's just an excellent resource for you to consider. This is Best Ed Lessons, and it has a variety of things. You can check out their website. And this is Spelling Word List. So if you need spelling word lists, they have a lot of them. Some people will go by the students' work and choose the spelling words out of that. And maybe they like to create their own activities. You can see what kind of activities the student wants to do. Maybe you want to have them look up the definition one day and write synonyms another day and use the word in a sentence another day and give them quizzes a couple days a week. That's up to you. And this is a website that has around 4,000 or 5,000 books, and it has, if they came out with different editions, they'll be there as well. So if you're looking for books for your students to read on the internet, you can see how easy it is to use. You just click on the page, and you can turn the page to the right or the left in the upper right hand corner and scroll down or zoom out, but you can just see how easy this is. It's so user friendly because you can just click on the title of the book and then click on reading it, and there it is. And if you do choose to take your students to the library, you might want to create a list of library skills that you would like them to learn. Maybe you could get the librarian to help with that, and then give them a certificate of completion after they've learned those skills. This is ck12.org, and you can see this is a great fun website. Maybe you're teaching them math at one website or using IExcel or Khan Academy for a couple hours a day, but then you have a free period where you want them to choose what they want to learn about, and maybe you want to go here to see if there's something they want to read about or study about during that time. But this one is an excellent resource. I love all the different things. It's so user-friendly and easy to use. I think that you will love this website. And this one is under the home.org, and you'll see I click on Mother Goose for kindergartners. And then I'll go to the first one, which is Rain, Rain. And you can see how it will have the words on the left-hand side and a video on the right-hand side. So that's an excellent, fun resource as well. This is hippocampus.org, and it's for middle school to college. And you can see the subjects on the left-hand side, and you can check that one out. This is At Home Middle School. And it's for 6th, 7th, or 8th graders, and it says that it's free online education for middle schoolers. Easy to follow daily lessons, so you can check this out. So, and it talks about the subjects, and I think it mentions no ads. Yeah, no ads, no fees or registration. So there's another resource. And this one, it says UK, but I love it because it has so many free workbooks if you have a way to print them out. If you print them at home and you have to buy ink every time, it might cost a bit. If you print them at a printing place, it might be less expensive, but you might have a way of printing them out. But it has all these free workbooks. Maybe you want to get ideas out of the workbooks and write it down on notebook paper or typing paper and have them do it that way. I just think it's an excellent resource. And homeschool support groups. If you're homeschooling, you might want to join a homeschool support group. Maybe you have books that you want to donate to other families when you get done with them. You can find them in homeschool support groups. Maybe you have questions about getting a high school diploma or driver's ed or anything, and maybe you haven't even thought of questions, but they have information to share with you that you had never thought of. Maybe you want to go do family outings with other families. Maybe you can do that in homeschool support groups. Maybe they go to the YMCA and meet together, or they go on field trips together. Some of them cost money and some are free. You can just go look and see. And I tried to include as much as I could. And I hope this helps somebody with their homeschooling, because there's so many different questions you have and so much. And there's so much material available online that you can use for free that will help you. So I just tried to include as much as I could with a variety of things to help you with your homeschooling. And I am a small YouTube channel, so I do greatly appreciate my viewers. So thank you for viewing. And please feel free to leave comments if this helped you or if you have suggestions. I greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.